investor. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about I-bonds and how that can be ultimately superior to a high yield savings account. Nowadays, with the market and all the insecurity and the market, whole stock market going down because the rates are high and the housing market all upside down and right side up. A lot of people are trying to opt to park their money into high yield savings account. Why high yield savings account? Because cash is a position. Believe it or not, cash is a position, and cash does erode with inflation. And when you put your money into a high yield savings account, you kind of sort of offset some of that erosion from inflation. I am looking on nerdwallet.com for the highest high yield savings account, and I did not know this, but Lending Club I did not know has a high yield savings account. I had no idea. And they're offering, according to this website, 2.07%. I see a lot of places giving 1.5, 1.9. I get about 1%. I see some people giving 1.25%. So yes, this is a way to park your money, but of course, there's a lot of, a lot of heat in the media about I-bonds. Now, I-bonds are, you know, inflation bonds. That's you're basically lending the government money, and they're going to pay you back, and they're going to preserve your buying power. They're going to preserve your principal purchasing power, and they will adjust it according to inflation. And now, currently, the inflation is 9.62%. Inflation gets adjusted every single May and every single November 1st. So right now, between May and October, the end of October, it's 9.62%. So your actual realized inflation is not 9.62. It's 9.62 for this 6-month period. And if you hold it for another 6-month period, it'll be the net, whatever the percent will be then. So let's say it's 11.62%. So 9.62 and 11.62 over a year, your average will be 10.62% roughly. We don't know, I'm just guessing. And again, one thing very, very important is every 6 months based on bonds fixed rate of 0% on inflation. What I've been reading up is, again, don't take my word for it, always check with your accountant, is that I-bonds can never go lower than 0%. That means that if there's a negative inflation, you're not going to actually owe money, you're actually just going to be, they're just not going to give you any interest. So now here, I made this little thing for you guys, a little comparison about I-bonds, some of the facts and some comparison between high yield savings account. Now, I-bond we spoke about is 9.62%. Currently, it's locked in every 6 months. We spoke about November and May 1st, November 1st. Those are big dates to look out for. Now, the way I look at it is that I-bond is locked in for 12 months, meaning that the first 12 months, look at it like a CD. It's illiquid. You cannot use it. After 12 months, it is feasible, in my opinion only, that you could use it as a, for an emergency fund. How do I know this? Because I went on the website and it said that if you're trying to take your money to cash it out after 1 year, it will just take 2 business days. So you can cash it out within 2 business days. So if you have an emergency and you got to use your credit card, you can just transfer the money over and use it right away. So now the way the fee structure works is that between 12 months and 5 years, if you do redeem your I-bond, you're going to have a penalty of 3 months of interest loss. Now, penalty meaning sounds like you're losing money, getting penalized. Well, you're not actually losing your principal, but the interest that you're going to make, they're going to take off some of it. So if you had it for 2 years, you're only going to get interest for 1 year and 9 months, for example. After 5 years, there is no penalty according to their website. Now, again, speak to your accountant, but it looks like that it's very tax efficient. Unlike a high yield savings account, you have to pay your federal taxes, you have to pay your state taxes, you have to pay your local municipality taxes. Now, with an I-bond, you only have to pay federal taxes. What do I know this? Because I'm looking at their website right here. They have here called tax consideration section, and it says savings bonds are exempt from taxation by any state or political subdivision of a state, except for estate or inheritance taxes. Please speak to your accountant, but it seems like from the website that it is more tax efficient, so that makes it more superior than a high yield savings account. Important to bear in mind that it's all over the website. It's very easy to know that it's only $10,000 maximum you can put in per person, per entity, per year. For example, if there's a couple, 2 people, and they have an LLC, then let's say each person could put in $10,000. The LLC of the entity could put in another $10,000, so that could be a total of $30,000 a year, for example. And here's a good, comparison between I-bonds and high yield savings. Again, interest rate could go from 0 to the inflation rate. High yield savings typically less than inflation rate. Currently, you already saw these rates. And now the I-bonds, now you're probably wondering to yourself, oh my God, the I-bonds are only in effect for 6 months. After 6 months, it's all doom and gloom. No, because if you think about your high yield savings account, and I've been watching mine for years, they'll change the rate on you on a whim. If the Fed changes the rates, they'll change the rates. at least your I bonds, you know for 6 months that they are locked into a certain rate for 6 months, and then the next 6 months they'll readjust to a different rate. Your high yield savings account is also not locked in. It's not a 30-year fixed locked in interest rate. It's a rate that can be changed and adjusted at any point based on your bank and your institution. So, and typically they're much poorer compared to the I bond. Again, and you also, at least I bonds, you know exactly when they're going to change it. And then your savings account, like we mentioned before, has no like tax benefits really at all. And then now the I bonds we spoke about is used to protect your purchasing power. You can argue that inflation is like 11%, 20%. There's inflation on food, there's inflation on cars, inflation on houses. They have different rates of all the inflations. Who says the government is calculating it correctly? It's true. They may be undercutting it, most likely undercutting it, but at least they're getting closer to indemnifying you than a high yield savings account. Much closer. Again, the I bond, you cannot take it out within a year. So again, if you need money, if you need an emergency fund for the first year, I would suggest, let's say you need 10,000 emergency fund. I would suggest, save up 20 grand. 10 grand will be for the emergency fund for the year. Do not touch it. That's your emergency fund if you have an emergency. The other 10,000 you can lock into the I bond, and after a year, you can use your I bond as your emergency fund, in my opinion, and then you can use your $10,000 for other things, investments or add it to your emergency fund, whatnot. But after a year, it unlocks. You can use it, in my opinion. Yes, one thing to bear in mind is I bond is backed by the U.S. Treasury versus high yield savings and any other checking account, savings account is based on the FDIC insured. If you do not trust the government, if you think the government's not going to pay you back, then you are screwed. And I bonds is not going to help you. And then I'm not sure if FDIC will be helpful because it's federally insured. So you're kind of in the same situation, maybe. I don't know. Again, another con is, and I've been reading online, is that there are long phone wait times. If you have any issues with your USTreasuryDirect.com website, you may be on the phone for hours, if not days. Expect to be on the phone for 6 hours. Get a book, do stuff like put one pod in and just listen, because you may be on the phone for a very long time. Very important. At least basic stuff. Keep your login information, your password, your account number. Write it down. Lock it up somewhere. Keep it safe, really safe somewhere, because if you lose that, it's going to take forever to get reset. As far as what I've been reading, again, I'm not a financial advisor, just read up the jargon. I hope you guys found this video entertaining, interesting. Please leave me a comment below. I really appreciate it. I love reading your comments. Thank you and have a great day.